Okay, thank you. So we both have our own teams. I am obviously my team is Team Aspiring Angels, and Lizette's team is Team Fit and Fearless. And this is where I'm going to have a problem trying to figure out what to do with everybody. Okay. We are so happy that you're here and want to know a little bit more about coaching. But before we dive into all of this detail, we're going to go a little bit about both of us.
Yep. All right, I'll go first. So I have been a coach for about 5 years. And initially when I started, I wasn't sure if I wanted to build a team. I was more so in it for, just being on my health and fitness journey. And I just desperately needed something. So I started building my team, and little by little, as I was helping customers, I was explaining to everyone about what the coaching opportunity was. And if the coaching opportunity wasn't something that, was in line with what they wanted to do, the discount was because they love the products. They love our fitness program. So one client at a time who fell in love with our programs and our supplements ended up either becoming a coach or a discount member. So I have since been building my team for like the last 4 years, and it's been a very life-changing experience to see how you can start as one and really truly grow.
Great. I started my journey about 9 years ago, and my team has evolved, and it's ebbed and flowed for the last 9 years, rebuilding a couple of times, and that happens. Things change and lives change and priorities change, and that's okay. But initially, when I first started coaching, I presented the opportunity to a couple of ladies, and they were ready to go all in. They had people that they wanted to help, and they also saw the value of the discount, and that's where we headed with them. Then it happened again with another evolving of some coaches, and it's just kind of been this steady process of really trying to find who my ideal team mates are and what can I do to share this opportunity and to show what it's done for me and the value behind it, and to just kind of find my tribe. So that's kind of a little bit about how we've both been gotten started. I'll go to the next slide. Oops. Oh, sorry, Lizette. Move this.
I believe this one was yours, Cheryl.
Mine, yep. Mm-hmm. So I'm going to answer this question, and I got to move our heads. There we go. What is coaching, and what does it mean to be a Beachbody coach? First of all, Beachbody is a highly reputable company. As you know, now we've gone public, which makes us even more reputable and more able to do so many more things. And so that's what we're super excited about. And just the fact that Carl is taking this, and we just had our national convention, but had it virtual. And his catchphrase for all of us is that we are scrappy, hungry, and I wish I had written them all down, but we are really ready to take this on, and Beachbody is such a great platform. You don't have to be an expert in fitness. You don't have to be at your ideal weight. You can be at any fitness journey, any age. And it's not about selling anything, although, you're coaching people and you're wanting them to put some investment into something. So it is kind of selling, but it's also sharing what the value of the programs, the value of having a coach and accountability, that you don't have to be an expert to do anything. And being a Beachbody coach to me gave me purpose when I was not feeling like I had much purpose anymore. And so that's kind of what coaching is for me. What was that?
I love talking about how we help people because this is truly how we change lives, not only physically, but emotionally, mentally, and financially. So it all truly just starts with ourselves and wanting to change our health. Because when we change our health, when we decide that, okay, we are no longer going to accept, you know, living the way that we've continued living, which is, having a health, not having a healthy lifestyle, this is when people become like believers. This is when people actually feel that they can help other people, is when they start working on themselves. So the way that we help people is that we have these programs and these amazing supplements and nutrition plans, meal plans that help everyone, not as a diet, but as a lifestyle. So when we're having these monthly accountability like groups, our boot camps, that is setting someone on the right pace to have a different lifestyle, to have a healthier lifestyle. And as a matter of fact, is us as coaches, keeping people accountable, checking in on them weekly, even if it's virtual, does something to someone's motivation to continue going. So when someone's at the gym, it's you, yourself, and that's it. And sometimes sometimes we don't show up for ourselves. But when you have someone pushing you, you have a coach who's like, okay, I'm invested in your journey just as much as you are, because you want a lifestyle change. This is how we help people, by just making sure that they hit their goals. Every month that we're having these boot camps is a chance for myself, for our challengers, to basically look at their goals again and decide, okay, I can do better, I want more, and continue on this journey forever. And the fact that we have this on-demand library that I always say, I call like the Netflix of fitness, because you can literally search anything you can think of, any of the hottest trends workouts. We have them and we keep evolving. And now that we're going to have this new cycling bike, added to our library, it's going to be so big. But the resources that we have right now is enough for anyone who decides, I want to change my life, whether it's doing cardio, strength training, bar, yoga, running, whatever it is, there's something there. And the game changer between you going to the gym and doing in a virtual boot camp or joining one of our challenge groups is us, the coaches that want you to have change, that want you to reach your goals. So that is how we help people. And that through that journey is where everything changes for someone who feels like maybe at first they didn't want to coach, but when they have their own transformation, it changes their belief.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And I kind of talked a little bit about this earlier, that people think, we're an MLM and that we're going to be salesy. And I just have been on a couple of calls this week that actually helped me understand that whole thought process and how to take that icky feeling of that we feel like we're being salespeople. Although, again, we are selling something, we are selling a healthier lifestyle, but how we talk about it and how it's working for us and the value is what makes it, to me, feel better. It's like if you go to a department store and you buy a particular makeup or clothing line, you would not hide that from people. You would be like, oh, I got this cute blouse, or I got this cute whatever. Well, when you're doing a Beachbody program or you're drinking a product and you're absolutely loving it, you're sharing about it. And so, it doesn't feel like you're selling anything. And, Beachbody is going to compensate us for doing that by getting us the commission and the prizes and the different things. And so sharing our journey and sharing what the products do for us that's how we sell things, is again by sharing them. To me, it has flipped the switch on me feeling like I'm an icky salesperson when you go about it that way. And also, when you see someone struggling with nutrition or fitness, you've got something to offer to them that is going to change their life. And so why would you not do that? To me, it's a disservice, and it's a gift that I should be giving to people. But they're going to have to invest a little bit. It's not for free, but we do have things to offer that are better, or not better, but that are at lower ticket price if they really, really can't do it. But we always want to offer them the best that we can, that we know is going to get them the best results.
I just love talking everything about coaching because it's changed my life. But there are so many misconceptions, so many fears, and so many worries about coaching. And one of them is, and I know this was one of them for me personally, because I always like sharing that, is what will people think? Are they going to think that I'm just trying to sell them something? And I was worried too. I was so worried that this was going to be another pyramid scheme, because I had tried other MLMs. And at this point, I was like, oh my God, here I go trying someone else. What if my family doesn't support me? What if my closest friends don't support me? What if I just fail? And honestly, for me, the one thing that made me just push over to say yes and say, I'm going to do this, who cares, and throw in the towel and say, I'm going to do this for me. Not only was it the programs, because like I said, that's where it starts, and having my own personal transformation and knowing that this works, but also the fear of, okay, not doing it and later on regretting the fact that I knew this worked and not sharing it because of what would people say about me, what would think. I knew that I was going to be sharing something positive. I knew I was going to be sharing something that was life-changing. So why would I hold back? Just like Cheryl said, this is something that we would talk to anyone, just like if we would share like the latest mascara find, the latest, anything, the newest restaurant, the newest Starbucks drink. Why would we hold this back when this is what we need right now? We're living in a crazy world in this pandemic. We need to spread health. So I just got over that fear, and I was like, I don't want to later on regret and say, hey, I had a transformation. I knew this worked for me. Why would I hold back based on others' opinions when they don't pay my bills? Regardless if I do this or not, they don't pay my bills. And how can this ever be a pyramid scheme when I had all these coaches that I followed? I mean, just living these abundant life. And I'm not just talking materialistic. I'm talking about abundant, like having the freedom, having choices, having options. And I'm like, I want that. Like, I really want that. And I'm going to work towards that no matter what it is, whether it takes a year, 4 years, 6 years, 10 years. Either way, I'm still living and time is going to pass.
And there's one thing here about will people unfriend me? If they do, oh well. It's either their loss or they just aren't your person and it's not right for them at this time. And that's kind of how I got over that. It's like,
okay. Yeah. I have something else to say about that. People may unfriend you, but believe me when I say that they will come back to you, whether it's a year, 2, or 3. I have people that I've spoken to the very first year that I started coaching, and they told me no for 3 to 4 years. And in this last year, because they've seen my consistency, they know that Lisette's not going anywhere. They know that Lisette shows up on her stories all the time. And they know I'm never going to give up on my own journey. Now they've come to me and said, I'm ready. I see your results and I want to do what you're doing. And yep. They will come back, yep. But you need to be consistent.
Exactly. And who do you share with? Well, right off the top, I look at my family and I look at my very closest friends and I look at any of them that might be struggling with something or might, be asking you what you're doing. For me, it was my coworkers when I first started that they were like, what are you doing? Why are you feeling so good? Why are you so happy? And so those are kind of the first people that you start to talk to. If you're already on social media and you're already sharing and you're already in groups, people are going to watch you and they're going to wonder what you're doing. And those will be your first invites to your first boot camp or to your first accountability group. And sometimes, they'll do it because they want to support you. And that's great. But it's your not responsibility, but if they're doing it to help support you, then I want to give them the very best opportunity and the very best experience that they're going to get, that they can get from me. And so, you know, that those family and close friends are going to be probably your first people that you share this opportunity with and share, being one of your first clients. We have really great coming out emails that you can send to people. I have shared those with some of my coaches, and it's very non-threatening, but it's just a nice way to say, hey, you know, this is what I'm doing. And would you want to run with me with this and see what we could do together and see what kind of, it's always more fun to do it with a buddy and, you know, those kind of things. And so that's kind of how I started sharing, was with my closest friends. And then it just kind of branched off from there.
Okay, money. Love talking about money. And a lot of people feel so uncomfortable and icky talking about money because it's like, how can we say we want to change people's life and make money off of this, right? So the biggest thing that you have to remember is that no matter what route a person takes, whether they decide they want to go and get a membership at their local gym or do CrossFit or whatever, everyone has to invest in their journey, whether paying for a membership, getting new equipment, whatever it is. So don't ever feel uncomfortable when you're asking someone to join you in a boot camp or a challenge group and they have to pay for the program. It's part of it. We all have to invest in something, right? So the two biggest ways that we make money, and we won't go into too much detail because that's something that when you become a coach and you decide to make this a side hustle or just go all in and make it big, is when you get into more of the bonuses and things like that. But the first one is how we all start, is making commission on all the sales. Like your first sales, every single sale that you get is a 25% commission on any sale that you get. Any new customer, you always get a commission on that. And then as you build your team, that is where the money starts to get really nice, and you start, you know, basically building residual income. And then the company gives you all these amazing team cycle bonuses, and you get bonuses for all kinds of great things. That is where the income gets rolling. And you just have to think of it this way: the more people you help, the more people that see this opportunity as a way to really help others and reach their dreams, the bigger your team will get, the bigger your income will get. And it's like, the bigger the impact, the bigger your income. That's the way that I look at it.
Absolutely. And how do coaches get started? Couple different ways. You can start off with just signing up to be a coach. I just want to do it. I'm all in. Or you can start it by what we do with the challenge packs, where that's our best package deal that we have, and the coach sign up fee will be waived when you do that. First thing that we want you to do when you sign up as a coach is to pick a program and to invest in yourself and invest in your business and put yourself first. Get that result, get those results, get that transformation. And that, even if it's just a little transformation, it might not be something that's completely physical. It may be something that's more not emotional, but more
mental.
Thank you. It might be
Yes.
more of a mental transformation than it is physical. And whatever kind of transformation it is, get that, and then you can start sharing it. But the challenge pack is the 1 year of on-demand library. You get both of the nutrition programs. You will get what's coming out soon is we have our interactive Beachbody on demand library that's going to be interactive. So if you are part of our nutrition, what's called Nutrition Plus, if you're part of that membership, you're going to get a mind-blowing fitness at your fingertips. And then what—
Can I add something, Cheryl?
Mm-hmm.
I'm so sorry. Finish your thought and I'll add it later.
I don't know where my thought was. I don't know. Go ahead.
The mind blowing fitness. I'm so sorry. I just thought of something. So when Cheryl was talking about getting yourself a transformation, doesn't matter how big or small. I'm gonna be honest, like my transformation wasn't huge. I didn't have to lose 15, 20 pounds. For me, it was just a matter of a few pounds here and there. Um, but my biggest transformation, and we'll talk about like our stories in the next couple of slides, was mentally for me, and people saw that. So it took a little bit longer for people to see like my consistency. And because I didn't have a big physical change, I got toned, but mostly for me was my mindset. And when I started speaking differently, that is when I caught people's attention. So if you're someone on here who's thinking like, I don't have a big transformation, I don't have like something where people be like, oh my God, wow, like I need to do those programs. It just doesn't consist of that, because as a coach, you're going to focus all around on mind, body, and everything. So whether it's personal development that really transforms you, or it's the programs, one of those transformations is going to speak to the people that you want to help.
Mhm. And so what will happen is when you want to get started, we'll look at the programs, we'll figure out what is going to be the best option for you, and we'll get you signed up, and you'll get a link sent to you, and it's as simple as that. And we have a couple of other options that are coming up soon that are called a preferred customer. And that's something that we'll talk about at a later date, but that's another option if you are leery of starting the business at first, but you really want that discount. That's another option as well. And here is some transformations.
Yes, these are all transformations in our group. You see me there. This is after my third baby, and that is about 8 months postpartum. And honestly, I don't think I would ever been able to bounce back. I'm 38 years old, so I don't think I would have been able to bounce back. And I guess in a non-timely manner, because I was in no rush. I knew that I was going to get there. If it wasn't for the Beachbody programs and having just something that I can follow, and having programs that were doable, meaning mom life with 3 kids, and knowing that I'm like breastfeeding, pumping, and doing all those things. So I'm grateful. So these programs have saved my life and my body.
Absolutely. And I mean, I've had a couple of different transformations. My very first transformation was from one of our programs that people don't really talk too much about anymore. But I lost 22 pounds in 8 weeks. I believe Shalene Extreme was an 8-week program. And it changed my life. It was what I needed at that time in my life. And I have never looked back. And I've had some programs that haven't given me much of a transformation, but it's made
Mhm.
it's made me stronger on the inside. It's made me stronger on the outside. And you can see some of these other transformations. Jessica, she is one of my challengers, and she's had amazing results in over the last 2 years. And Lizette's got some other gals here too. So, okay. Oh, and here's my story. All right.
Uh-huh.
I will try to keep this short. 9 years ago, pretty much tried everything under the sun to lose weight. I did the HCG drops, I did starvation diets, I did Weight Watchers, I took pills. I mean, it was everything. And I was a mess. I'm a nurse as well. And I was in a place in my job that I was starting to question whether or not I was wanting to be a nurse anymore. My role that I was in was being questioned whether or not I was a good fit anymore. And all of that I know had a lot to do with all the crazy crap I was doing to try to lose weight. I was not in a good place mentally. And then throw in premenopause, throw in empty nesting, throw in now I've got this person that I've been together with for 30 some years, maybe not that long, 25 years at that point. And who is this person? I have to have a relationship with this person, that I have been a mom and we have been different directions for 18 years with 2 boys. And so all of those things kind of just hit me right in the face, and I was empty. I needed something to fill my cup. I felt like I didn't have a purpose anymore because my boys were gone. My job didn't think I was needed anymore. My marriage was, not the best. And I reached out to one of my classmates who was a coach. And I said, whatever you're doing, I want some of that. It was like, I'll drink the crackology, because that's what we called it back then. I was like, I don't care what it is. I just need to feel better. I need to have some purpose. I need to get out of this slump. And so I did. Within the first month, things changed. My coworkers were noticing a behavior change. I was noticing how I was feeling. I went to my first local event. We call them Super Saturdays. I went to that not shortly after I first started coaching. And I met this community of people that with open arms, welcomed me in. And I immediately said, this is where I need to be. This is what I need to do. I was listening to success stories. I was seeing transformations. I was hearing from corporate, and it was like, this is where I need to be. This is going to give me that purpose and fill that empty spot that I needed so desperately. And it's helped me to have more confidence and get out of my lack of feeling like I'm not worthy. And so that's kind of my story. And 9 years later, I'm still here.
All right. So my story, like I said, I came to Beachbody 5 years ago, and I came to Beachbody just because I needed something more than just fitness. I was in a very, very dark place in my life. Going to the gym was no longer working as a mom of 2. Getting there, it took about 15 minutes to get settled. And then within 10 minutes, I would get called from the daycare to come pick up my son because he was crying. So I stopped the gym thing, gained a couple of pounds, and I saw a Facebook post saying how about pretty much like what we do is talk about how sharing your journey, getting in the best shape of your life, and making an income. And for me, always finding ways to create an income, to have more money, was always something that caught my attention. So I did the sneak peek, and when I signed on, I really didn't know that this was going to change my life, not just physically and financially, but also mentally. That has been my biggest transformation. I've struggled with an eating disorder and depression for a very long time. I was anorexic in my high school years. And although I overcame the eating aspect of it, the mental part was awful. It was mind tricks and all kinds of things. I just never had a good relationship with food. And having my depression on top of that, I'm sorry about my kids. Having my depression on top of that was awful. I went through a lot of traumatic experiences as a young girl, things that I should have never gone through. And that just pretty much fueled my anorexia. 1 second. I'm sorry. And I had no self-esteem, no vision for my life. I was one of those women that walked around thinking, this is it. I'm just supposed to go to work, be a mom, be a wife, and I have no goals. I'll just see everyone else reach their goals. Because I didn't think it was meant for me, because I didn't have that belief that I could achieve something, that I could actually accomplish anything. I just thought God picked certain people with gifts and talents, and those were the chosen, right? And as I went through every single program, as I went through every single PD book, and as I started different ways to better myself, whether it's praying, daily devotionals, I started to feel a confidence and a self-esteem that I had never in my life felt before. I started to feel happy. I started to see vision, and I started to set goals of things that I wanted to accomplish. And I started to feel like what all the other coaches were preaching and sharing their life and their abundant lifestyles was now something that was attainable for me because I finally had changed my mindset. So that is when I say that my transformation was more mental. Like I am in a good, healthy mental space. I mean, we all have our ups and downs, right? Life still happens to all of us, but at the end of the day, like Beachbody has been there, has been my foundation. I know that I can not only on the programs, but on the community, on my coaches. And that is something that I'm not willing to ever give up, no matter where I am in my journey and my coaching journey, just because I know it's made such a positive influence in my life. And it doesn't matter how big or how small you want to do this. The fact that if it's made a positive impact in your life and you want to share that with one or two people, that's okay. It doesn't, you get to dictate all that. You get to dictate how big or how small you want to go with this. So for me, this will always be something that I will always do.
Me too. So we are kind of opening this up for questions. We are open books and we want to make sure that you guys get all your questions answered. So fire away, ladies, if you have any questions. You can unmute yourself and ask if you have any questions. And if you don't, that's
trying to get out of the store right now.
I'm assuming that you guys can all hear. And if you don't have questions, that's fine. That's perfectly fine. Especially since you guys are two of you are already coaches. I know you know the drill, but do you have anything else to add, Lizette? I really
No. I just feel like this is an opportunity that is for everybody, no matter who you are, what you're doing, where you are in your journey, whether you are starting on day one of a life-changing lifestyle or you have the most banging bod, this is for you.
That's right. So I think that was it. Jenny or Susie, no questions, right?
I don't have any questions.
I know you know it all. You don't know it all, but I know you know a lot. All right. Well,
I could add something though. I could add something.
Go ahead.
I was a coach and did Beachbody. I said I could add something.
Go ahead.
I was a coach in 2017 and 2018 for Beachbody, and it kept me on the path. I dropped 14 pounds. I went from a 16 down to a loose 12. And when I got to a point in my life and I felt like, I needed to eliminate some things. And unfortunately, I eliminated Beachbody and I thought, oh, I'll keep up with everything. And I cannot tell you that I did that. I dropped doing my workouts, my better eating. And before long, guess where I went back in size and weight? I refound the 14 pounds and I refound the size 16s. Anyway, so I know it works and I know what it takes. And I need to be immersed in Beachbody to keep me in the lane of doing what needs to be done. It's my self-discipline. That's my self-discipline. And that's what I'm going to use.
Great. And those are fabulous goals and things to work on. And if nothing else, just for the accountability. Jenny, did you have anything to say?
No, I think I'm good.
Okay. Well, Lizette and I both appreciate you guys showing up tonight and supporting us and listening to us. I will follow up with all of the people that I've invited, and you have access to us. And anytime that you have questions, please reach out. You know how to get a hold of us. You're in this group. I'm going to put this recording into the sneak peek group, and there'll also be a link if you ever want to share it with someone. Those of you, both of you that are coaches, if you want to share this, it will be a YouTube that you'll be able to share. So
Thank you.
Thank you, ladies.
All right. Well, thank you guys for jumping on, and I will talk to you guys later.
Yes. Take care. Have a good evening.
Bye.
All right, sounds good.